What is that? Racist Thinking, the show where we delve into the most twisted minds on the planet just to get a sense of why they think what they think. That's right. We are the only show on broadcast television that platforms racists, baby. That's right. And today on the show, we got a real fucked up piece of shit for you. We got a notorious racist coming on. So without further ado, let's introduce him, Kevin Day, everybody.
Wow, what an introduction. I really hope my friends and family are watching it. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you know, we introduced you as Saddam Hussein last week, and I think I doubled down on the idea of really just destroying you. So, I mean, we got to delve into the minds of a racist. So what are you thinking? What's going on in there?
Well, I just hate people overall. You know, I just find something new to hate about everybody. And it doesn't matter what it is. I'm just down on everyone right now.
That's really good. I realized as you started talking that this is very dangerous territory to just be throwing you to try and manage and maneuver. But hey, I mean, you know, that's just what we do on the show. I don't know why they greenlit it, but you know, what can you do? It's a strike. You got to make your money where you can. But you know, we've had enough of the sick fuck. It's time to introduce the next two racists. No, I got a couple guests for you. Guests that are, how do we say? They're very near and dear to my heart. I see a fair amount of them. I don't know that I'd say I see a lot of them, but I see a pretty good amount of them. And you know, they see a lot of each other. You know, none of this makes sense. This is not an introduction. From the hit podcast, No One Can Know About This, as well as from the writers' strike, the front lines of the writers' strike. We got Jeff Eckman and Ryan Kasmiskie in the house. What's up?
Hey, it's great to be here.
Yeah, thanks for having us
on this racist programming.
So why do you hate various races?
I just think it's like the easiest way to project my own self-hatred without having to think too deeply about it.
Mm-hmm. It's an easy way to hang your hate.
Exactly.
You know,
we all
you don't have to work that hard to hate. You know, it's all there for you.
Yeah, it's very simple, very easy. So I wanted to have you back on the podcast. You were on the podcast before, right? I think one time before.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
It was. I wonder when that was.
We talked a little bit about your podcast, I think, right?
I think so.
I mean, you don't fucking remember. I don't even remember. No, there's no way. Kevin, do you remember what we talked about?
I think we talked about that.
Yeah. So you guys do a podcast called No One Can Know About This. No One Can Know About This. And contrary to the title, you actually want people to know about it.
It's true.
It's a podcast about Final Fantasy and human struggle and making food. It's really good, and that's how I got to know you guys. I listened to the podcast, and then eventually we ended up as friends. So yeah, but I don't know. Do you want to just plug your podcast just a little bit off the top before we kind of get into it? Because you are kind of coming in on a new season right now. It's just started.
Yeah,
right?
Season 7 has just begun airing. Our Final Fantasy 9 season.
So we have it's been called an audio only Let's Play, where we like record ourselves hanging out for really long stretches of time playing through a whole Final Fantasy game, and then we go back and like do commentary over the recordings to describe all the visuals and more importantly what was going on in our heads.
Making fun of our past mindset and
it's
dumb mistakes we made.
Yeah, the title comes from, at the time, we were at a stage in our lives when we should have been really like putting our nose to the grindstone to try to get ahead in our careers, but we like couldn't handle our video game addiction. So that was like the title was our deep shame about how are we spending all of our time.
Yeah, the show was kind of a justification of why we play these games all the time. We should turn it into work. Yeah. And it became a thing where it requires a huge amount of effort to edit the show. And so it is the hardest that I've ever worked to justify playing a video game.
Yeah.
And I feel fulfilled by it.
But we to what you said earlier, we are starting the new season after a long hiatus. So Final Fantasy IX is what we're doing this season.
And how many seasons have you done so far?
This is the 7th. The first we went we started in American release order of the Final Fantasy games. So we did Final Fantasy 1, 4, 6, and 7. And then we went back and did Final Fantasy 2, which was only released in Japan originally. And then we did Final Fantasy 8, and now we are doing Final Fantasy 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I don't know. They say that you shouldn't make your hobby into work. Like, you shouldn't monetize your hobby. You feel like, I mean, obviously, I think this has been a success for you. You enjoy it on some level, and the support and stuff has been coming through to make you kind of validated on some level. But do you feel like, I don't know, do you feel like it's real drudgery and killing your soul to kind of convert what is, on some level, like a fun escape from reality into, kind of your, I don't know if day job's the right word. Maybe it is, but like
effectively
day job
yeah,
is the
so
right
how do you
word
feel
at this
about it?
point.
Ryan, why don't you answer that? Because I get a lot out of making it, so much so that the technical and drudgery work that is a part of it is just like, I'm willing to take that on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it did definitely change my relationship to video games, not in the way that most people would say about like when they turn something they love into their job, where like, now I can't look at a video game anymore. But like definitely
specifically Final Fantasy 8, I can't look at again. I spent a year analyzing it.
But it's weird, like, because we only play the game before we start editing the season, so that part is like all done beforehand. And once we start editing, I like can't stop playing other video games. Like I get like really into gaming again in a way that like I hadn't been when we're just like recording or doing the show or writing our other projects. But editing this for some reason just puts me like I love it.
Yeah. So I want to delve into your checkered pasts, but we're getting a couple questions in the question hole. Charlie M is asking, any plans to do Final Fantasy Tactics? That's my favorite of the series, and I have an answer to this, but it's not about me answering questions that are directed towards you.
We played it and released it as an unedited playthrough on our Patreon, and we'd love to someday do a proper season of it that's well edited, but that may not be able to happen for quite some time.
Yeah, in all likelihood, that's not in the cards, at least not in the coming years. But if you want to hear our reaction to it, you can check out our Patreon and just watch the whole thing.
It was a great game.
I never really thought about that, but so you've done unedited playthroughs. Does that mean technically, and I'm not saying you should or will do this, but does that mean technically you could just go through and do the kind of editing treatment to turn it into like a standard series?
Theoretically, we could. We've talked about doing that. Like, we have this unedited playthrough of Final Fantasy 16 that's going right now, and maybe like 20 years from now, we'll go back into that
and use that
turn it into a real season. But
go on, Jeff.
No, we don't. Everything takes so long to make this show. Like, the Final Fantasy IX season, we played it between October and December of 2022. We're just now starting to air the season. The season's going to have like 70 episodes in it. So this is the next year of our life editing this. The unedited playthroughs, we just do it once and put it right out there. And so the difference is like huge.
Yeah, the only trouble that I can conceive of using old recordings is that we wouldn't be able to remember or speak to our state of mind when we were playing it. Yeah. And that's like where we get most of our juice from. That's where the good juice is. It's not in the details of Final Fantasy. It's in the details of our friendship.
Yeah. And we should say one of the things I'm excited about in this season that we're just started airing is that for a number of the days of the recordings back in October and November, Spencer, you came over and you're a part of the show, and we made like Thanksgiving, and we recorded all of the Thanksgiving, which I think is going to be, it's a long ways off, but I cannot wait to be editing those episodes.
Yeah, I think
releasing those.
we're going to deliver like a month of Thanksgiving, and I bet that will have very little Final Fantasy in it. It will have some, but not as much as the non-Thanksgiving ones.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how many episodes that's going to be. Like maybe at most I'm going to be on like 6 or 7, you think?
Throughout that day, because I think you came to two other days.
Another day, yeah.
Oh, I only remember one other day, but yeah. So that's very late. So, if you don't want to listen to the podcast, wait until I'm on and I'll be all like, hey, check me out, and only listen to those episodes. And it'll be a very final Thanksgiving or something. I don't know.
Well, you came once on the show before when we were doing that little bonus episodes Choco betting, where we recorded ourselves betting on chocobo races in Final Fantasy VII. And that was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Final Fantasy VII. What a game.
Great
Final
game.
Fantasy. What a franchise.
What an interesting franchise.
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, the dog's going to do what a dog does, and that's just podcast texture.
That's right.
It's, what do you call it? Whatever. I'm trying to think of the word for music. Diegetic. It's diegetic dog barking.
Diegetic barking.
All right. Got another question. Nikki Chuck wants to know, are you too good for FF3 Mystic Quest?
No,
not at all.
We're not too good for anything, really.
Is Mystic Quest a different thing than just FF3?
I don't know. That's not something I'm familiar with. Maybe Nikki Chucky can enlighten us.
I thought Mystic Quest was the Final
franchise?
Fantasy
the baby
adventure.
Game?
Yeah,
oh,
like the easy one.
Because we're definitely going to do FF3. We just didn't want to do another NES game right now, so we moved to 9. But we also want to go back because those seasons can be as short as 12 episodes, and we can do that in a much more reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, the
later
games we've skipped over aren't because we're skipping them. It's because the order started out with some logic and then became just like whatever we felt like our souls could handle next.
Yeah. For a while, we would end the season and flip a coin to decide what was the game going to be next. At this point, we basically just decided ourselves.
Yeah. The original drive was like, we got to get to 7, but we have to play some other ones before that.
Yeah.
And so we just wanted to like skip to 7.
Can't just start there. Nikki Chuck says, and Dr. Nut kind of reiterates that it's the kids version. Remember, like the baby version of Final Fantasy? I think it's that one.
Right.
So that's kind of a spin-off. I've been pulling. I keep saying you guys got to play Bravely Default, because I think that at some point Final Fantasy games just go off the rails and stop being Final Fantasy games. And when that happens, Bravely Default is there to pick up the standard with goofiness and dragoons that jump up in the air and all of this. But, that's a whole other can of worms. I mean, yeah, like you said, it's going to be like 20 years. And hopefully, you'll have better things to do by then. Like,
you never know.
A family.
You never know.
I have clue.
faith. I have faith that I will be in a bad place, and so maybe I can just start doing, pick up where you left off.
We'll hand it off. Have it like the Olympic torch. We'll pass you the show.
Yeah, because I won't have anything going on. I won't have any family or anything. So, and Jason will be dead, and it'll be the only way to maintain my sanity.
Man, the next 20 years look great. It's looking real bright.
Yeah, I mean, you raise an interesting point. We might be blessed to not have a planet that long, or at least a human race, if we're lucky. Man, I think it would be great if just humans died off and then the rest of everything else kept going, just because it's like...
That would be probably the best for the planet.
That would be, a better outcome than probably what we're heading towards. I mean, what we've already headed towards, we've already fucking done, I mean, how many extinctions have there been in our lifetime?
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Don't look that up.
It's hard to remain positive.
Just ruminate on it at home and then channel that anger into just like blind rage at automobiles.
And then
have that
spend your day
your life
playing video games.
So your blood pressure rises whenever you look out the window. And then decide that all you can do is play video games. This is my advice to the world. I haven't figured out what to do. I apologize to all of you.
We need some sort of like rage crystal that you could scream into and it like stores energy. Like, I think that could be good.
You know,
Man.
yeah, I would buy a few of those.
If we could harness the rage,
Can you
that would
send your
really-
rage back into the grid? Do you
That's
get
the
rebates?
hope.
powerful.
I
That's
have
the
solar
renewable
panels
energy.
and rage crystals. They pay me for what I put back into the grid. Oh man, that would be cool. There needs to be just not like a whole world of magic, but there just needs to be a couple magic curios that just sock it into society. I think that would be good.
Well, there's so much to rage at in the world, and it's such a powerful energy source that I am expending. Just out into the nothing? No,
Science
you gotta
should
capture
do
it.
something about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get on it, science.
Yeah, why are we trying to test fake superconductors when we can be making like rage
Conductors.
conductors?
Yeah.
Rage conductor sounds good. Okay, so I want to delve into a little bit of biographical. I feel like I probably asked you these questions before, but whatever. So I'll go one at a time. But Ryan, when did you decide that like writing or even just doing creative stuff was something you wanted to pursue? Like, yeah.
I mean, there's like many phases of this, but the earliest I can remember like wanting to be a writer was really young, probably like elementary school.
Wow.
Like I was like a huge reader and a very like quiet, isolated kid with no friends really. So I just like read. And then we had this one class where we like in elementary school, we got to like make a book with like, they had like a binding machine, you know, you could make like a 15-page hardbound thing. And at that point I was like, I'm gonna be a writer. That's what I'm going to do someday. And I never thought of anything better. And of course, like much later, probably when I was 18, I like made some little movies with my friends and they made a lot of people laugh and that felt great. And then I was like, I'm going to try to be a screenwriter. You know, that was
Yeah, that's awesome. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a scientist. And then when I was like around 18, me and my friends were like toying around with the idea of making movies, but we just never ended up doing it. I guess everybody, I don't think I was smoking. No, I was. I think we were just smoking pot instead. But we were, when you smoke pot, you talk about all sorts of things that you're going to do and then don't want to do. But yeah, so I remember like there's these big fires that swept through our neighborhood and took out all like the grasslands and stuff. And it just looked like you were in an apocalyptic wasteland around there. We were like, we got to shoot something before like things grow back. But we never ended up doing anything like that. It was really cool though, just to hike around and get lung damage or whatever. But what about you, Jeff? You were pretty early on too that you wanted to be like a writer or something, right?
Yeah, I was always kind of interested in that stuff, but I remember kind of being 14 or 15 years old and your grandparents are always like, what do you want to be when you grow up and all that. And I kind of came to the conclusion that I wanted to try to help people or make people feel better. And so I went kind of down two roads at once. One was to become a doctor and the other was to become a comedian. And so I started doing stand-up when I was 15, and eventually I became an EMT when I was 18, and I worked on an ambulance for a summer. And when I went to college, I kind of was at a liberal arts school where you could pick both tracks at once. And I just kind of realized pretty quickly that I was fascinated by medicine, but in a way where I wanted to write about it more than actually do it myself. And writing was such a satisfying and interesting thing to do. And then I found out that I could transfer to another college, and there were classes called Writing the Sitcom being taught by former Seinfeld writers. And I was like, I gotta go if I can make this happen. And luckily I was lucky and privileged enough to be able to do that. And also my older brother, he was a director and got close working with he was actually the film director for a comedy group called Derek Comedy that had a lot of success.
You heard of it
in the early YouTube days. And we would drive up to my house in New Hampshire. It would be me and the 5 members of Derek Comedy, including my brother and his wife. And we would shoot sketch comedy, and they were kind of mentors to me for a long time as I went through college, and did a lot of sketch comedy in college with a lot of really fantastic people. And tried to make it happen as I graduated and wound up meeting Ryan and finding a really great collaborative partner. And now we also work with you, which is really fun.
Yeah.
No, it's real fun. You guys love it, I'm sure.
We do. It's really, really fun. I can't wait. The stuff we're working on, we can't talk about it, but I'm excited.
Yeah, I mean, we probably whatever. We brought up an interesting point, which is it made me think of the question. So, is it true that DC Pearson's name comes from Derek Comedy?
No, his name is Donald Charles.
Oh, I thought it was Derek Comedy Pearson.
No, that's hilarious.
All right,
the DC goes before Derek. I think the name Derek came from they were going to perform at UCB at this thing called Cage Match, and they needed a name. And they realized that all of their names start with the letter D and are also pretty generic. So it was Donald Charles, Dominic, Dan, and they chose Derek, and
Sure.
it stuck.
Yeah. So okay. So you were doing fucking stand up at 15. Where was your brother in that time frame? Were they doing stuff before you were doing stand up, and do you think that was an influence or
no? Well, he was definitely an influence and an inspiration because he was always wanting to make comedy and film.
Sure.
I think when I started stand up, he was a freshman or sophomore at NYU, where he hooked up with the Derek Comedy guys through this group there called Hammercats. And a lot of amazing writers and performers have come out of Hammercats. And he ended up making even for a school project, he made a documentary about me doing stand-up in Boston because I didn't have a driver's license. So my mom had to drive me down to these comedy clubs in Boston.
Sure.
Because also there were no comedy clubs in New Hampshire. So I had to go down there. And that's a fun yet embarrassing documentary to exist. Because I was 15 and my material was embarrassing. But that exists. And slowly I kind of followed him and eventually was a part of Hammercats myself as he graduated and started doing Derek Comedy.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So, okay. So now I'm curious, what were you guys like in middle school or high school? What were you
I was
doing?
a little shit. I was just a mouthy problem for my teachers because I fancied myself as a late night comedian who would.
Oh, you were like a class clown archetype?
At least for a little while, where I remember I really wanted for a while to become Conan O'Brien. And so I was I don't know, testing out comedy lines in classes and stuff. And it just was not something that I think the teachers appreciated.
Yeah. What about you, Ryan?
I was in middle school, so I was pretty quiet. I didn't have any friends. I didn't talk to the teachers. I didn't really want to be noticed at all. But
you got yourself kicked out of church.
Yeah. So, I was perceived as I got kicked out of church in this was in high school in ninth grade. Because the other kids told them that they were worried I was going to come shoot up the church or whatever. Cause I was a weirdo.
That was just
also,
a way people bullied kids though back then.
Yeah,
they were oh, that guy's going to shoot up a school.
Yeah.
I know there's people like that at my school that people said stuff about like that. And I was like, come on, man. This is not, and I was always trying to be nice to those people.
But I was also an agent of chaos, I by ninth grade, I realized I had no friends and adults were never going to be nice to me or be on my side really. So I would just try to ruin church trips and if we were staying at a hotel, I would just take over a conference room with just myself and wheel a bunch of stuff in there and build a fort and just make a huge mess.
That's
sneak
awesome.
out at night and just try to wake up random guests through the window. I can't say why I did this. I'm not saying this was good, but I was just totally
you're
out of
acting out.
control.
Yeah.
Acting out, I suppose. But it's funny because that's
pulling
actually
the hair of the authority.
Eventually that attitude was what led me to like film stuff with my friends, because I would be like, let's just like go out this summer and just like cause a bunch of havoc and film all of it. And they loved that. They were very happy to have somebody who was saying that was a good thing to do.
Was that when you were microwaving a can of beans?
Yeah, blowing up microwaves. I think we have, thousands upon thousands of hours of us ringing doorbells and running away. Just like that was like our main activity. We would get like, we got to the point where we would love to get like giant refrigerator boxes. Like we would drive around looking for a box big enough to get under. And then we would like cut the bottom out and go get somebody underneath it and sit them on the porch. And then someone would ring the doorbell and run away. And then they would stand up and like walk off out into the street as like we just kept getting more elaborate. But I spent like
more head.
Yeah, we had one that
heads.
Never worked. Like we'd like arrange cookies, like Oreos, from one door to like another door down the street, across the street, hoping that they would like follow the trails and like meet up in the middle. I don't know. We were obsessed with this for some reason. That's what I was like in high school. I was probably pretty
Social
annoying.
Engineering. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty hardcore, but I feel like I was more in that camp. I hung out with a bunch of like, I don't know, like the freaks of the Freaks and Geeks or whatever, like that was definitely my crowd. And we would do like, I don't know, we would try and do like anarchist cookbook sort of shit. Like I remember we put, what do you call it? 2-stroke gasoline, for like dirt bikes into like super soakers and try and like mount candles on them to make like flamethrowers and stuff. And it turns out, and we didn't explode or die, but it turns out that pressurizing gasoline is not a safe idea.
Wow.
You do not want to put gasoline under pressure. And even 2-stroke or whatever. But man. Okay, so
I never blew anything up, but I do remember when we would go and shoot the Derek comedy sketches, we had these extremely realistic and illegal looking guns. And sometimes for a joke, like we had this like assault rifle looking one that was fake. It was airsoft, but it looked real. And we were shooting a sketch once, and I remember one of the guys was like just like pointing it around. We were on a rooftop. He was like pointing it around at houses. We were like, dude, stop doing that right now. Like this isn't a funny bit. We're not in an isolated area. Like somebody's going to call the cops for sure.
I mean, 15 years later, it's kind of a funny bit.
Yeah,
it's very funny.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, that's horrifying. I was always the what do you call it? The breaks. I was always I don't know if we should be doing this kind of guy. Which was, I'm sure, great. Which I used to think was because I was smart and I was like smarter than everyone else. But I've come to realize that it was actually just me being anxious in general, and it had no bearing on my lack of a presence of intelligence. But okay, so Ryan, so you did like a student film. Is that the right word for it? Like in college, right? You took like a film writing class.
So in high school, we had like a film festival at my school for some reason that like nobody ever entered. So we won it 2 years in a row with like just like little. We made like a mockumentary about making a movie. And then that was like the first film thing that I did.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, you wrote a feature that got made, right?
Yeah. Wasn't that like in college or something?
Yeah. But after that, in high school, I went to like a summer program, at USC. It was like a summer camp, after I did that. And like learned a little bit more about the basics of screenwriting, but really what I got out of it was a letter of recommendation that helped me get into the writing program at USC after I graduated from one of the camp professors or whatever. Did that answer your question? I forgot where I was going.
Well,
just
like actually
all together now.
Like, yeah, you like wrote like a movie, right?
And after college, I co-wrote this film called All Together Now. Yeah, that's like an indie hangout movie.
Linklater vibes.
Linklater vibes. That's what we were aiming for sure. Yeah.
How did how did that come together? Like, what even? That's so interesting to me that you like just did that. You know.
So one of my good friends, this guy Alex Marecki, who's a talented writer and director. He was graduating too from the production track at USC, and he wanted to make an indie film, and he asked me to help him write it. It was really that simple. He funded it himself, and I got paid $2,000 when it was all produced. Like well after it was done, but like it was pretty sweet. Like we just wrote the thing, and we had like a couple of other friends. Leah Fong, who's now his wife, was like working for. Oh man, I'm blanking on his name. This is terrible. But this producer, and it was basically like our little network at USC worked out in a way where our friends at entry level production jobs like got us executive producers with bigger names than we had that they were working for. And so they helped us get casting, like James Duvall, who was the son of the alcoholic in Independence Day. Randy Quaid's kid. Lou Taylor Pucci. I'm on the spot. I like can't remember even who was in this movie. This was in like 2011.
No, but it's like so you were writing it, but it was the other person's idea. Do you feel like it was more?
Oh, we came up with it together. Like he had like a vague sort of thematic premise of things he wanted to explore. And like a setting, like he was like, I want to do it at like a party, like an overnight concert party, because that was also similar to like a lot of just environments we had been in for the past 4 years, being in college. And he had like ideas about how he wanted like, the center of the party, everyone to be more sane. And as you go into the darkness, people are crazier. And it was this kind of like idea of, social dynamics based on proximity to the center of a party or something like that. But we started
it's really cool.
Place
there's a lot of really cool footage
that vague, and just came up with like a bunch of characters, and just we met together every day, much like Jeff and I do. And we would just like, I would go over to his place and we would just like hammer out like new pages. And after, I don't know, it probably took us a year to write it. And then they just started producing it. It was awesome to get to be a part of that, because I really didn't have to do much work. They did all of the casting and production and directing everything else. I just got to like hang out.
So you were just there, but you didn't have responsibilities once it was actually in production. You were like watching.
I just was like, I just got to like watch this crazy thing happen where people were like saying the words I had written. And I can remember thinking, because I was like, I think I was like 21 when we started writing it. By the time it like came out, I was like, wow, I did not have enough life experience to nail that. Like I could remember like feeling like I had grown up so much in the year or two after I wrote it that that like put a damper on my writing for a while, because I was like, I should probably just like live my life.
I do remember as a writer in that era, I was like, and I remember thinking to myself, if this is always the case, that's a good thing. That I would look back at something I wrote 3 months earlier and be like, who the hell, what idiot wrote that? And it means that you're progressing as a writer, but sometimes it means that like you're looking back at something that's now being produced and you're like, shit, I would do that differently.
I feel that way about like everything I've done pretty much, except for the podcast.
Yeah, except for No Cat, where I look back and I'm like, how did we do that?
Yeah.
Like, I forgot that we were that good in that moment. Like, wow.
Yeah, I feel that way about the Facebook posts that Facebook tells me to remember from 10 years ago.
God.
Like, they're like, 10 years ago on this day, you wrote like, man, why is ham so salty? Or that's actually way better, honestly, than anything I did right. But it was just like, I just like look at this stuff and it just, I mean, maybe I can actually pull something up.
It's like 10 years ago, you were very angry and isolated, and you told everyone about it.
Yeah,
I mean, this is the same thing with that documentary my brother made about my stand-up, where I was like, my 15-year-old, I had a bit where I compared battery sizes to bra sizes, and because the A's and the B's and the, and there aren't B
solid
batteries,
material.
but that's the thing. It was I hadn't really touched a boob.
And there's
There's
hell
the
was I
problem
talking
with
about?
creative work. You're always progressing, or you feel you are at least, and changing, and then you look back at some crystallization of some shittier version of you.
Yeah. And
You're horrified.
I'm trying to think of like an area where guys always like, oh, they go wild for 9 volts.
Yeah, that's better than anything that I had. I think my big
That's a great
punchline
joke.
was you never have the size that you're looking for or something. You know how like you're trying to find
Yeah,
the
it doesn't really
batteries.
make sense.
Yeah, when you're dating like a girl with these big boobs, and then you're like, but now I'm looking for smaller.
They don't fit in the remote.
These ones don't fit in the remote. These boobs don't fit.
And that's now
boy.
crystallized in that documentary that, admittedly nobody, we put it on our Patreon. So
Now it's crystallized here again.
Yes, through description.
Yeah, and I feel like that too, just in the sense of like I don't feel like I've lived enough to like be a writer. Not because I'm like not old, but just because like I'm so sheltered, if that makes sense. Like I just kind of stay at home and do the same things that I've been doing since I was like 16. I haven't done like a lot of the big life things that a lot of people do. I mean, I've done a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the stuff that I've done is actually like weird niche Hollywood stuff, the kind of things that executives and suits don't want to do,
Right.
I think a lot of people pitch. It was kind of a miracle that 30 Rock got like made, because that's the kind of show that people pitch all the time, and they're like, no, come on, like you don't write about like the flyover states don't care about this or whatever.
Yeah. Well, for me, because I think about that a lot too, because there is some truth to like you can only write what you know, or you should write what you know.
Sure.
And so everyone is kind of, in my opinion, limited by their own life experience. But I think the bigger hurdle, at least in terms of what we're talking about now, of looking at your past work, is like, I feel like I'm finally at a stage in my life where I can be certain whether I want to say something or not. Whereas back then I might have just said something or written something just because it might work, or maybe it wouldn't.
Or it sounds like a thing that
get
I've
a
seen
reaction.
before.
And then that's where I get that feeling of looking back at it and going like, oh, I don't believe that. Like, I don't like, that's not the me I want to put out there. So I feel like it gets easier to be just like confident in your voice as you get older. But that certainly doesn't mean that I could just go, I don't have a family either. And I couldn't go write like, I probably couldn't even write like a vacation story of like Vegas vacation, like going somewhere with your family.
Well, it's also like
what I have inside of me.
I think about our lack of wide perspectives, because like the three of us write together, and I think we have similar life experiences when taken from humanity's perspective. And it's like, if we ever got a show picked up, I would definitely want to fill the writing staff with people who are completely different than the three of us.
Yeah,
sure.
You got to lean on others who have those
white
experiences.
Nerds. And yeah, like we want to have more variety of characters than straight white nerds. And that perspective, it's like I have empathy, so I could put myself in somebody else's shoes. But like, if you're really writing about an experience and you don't have that experience, there's so much detail that you're going to wind up accidentally stepping on in a wrong way, or just not getting to the actual emotional truth of it.
Yeah, the best you can do is a lot of research, but that works better on things like ship terminology and,
right.
And less in terms of like very human kind of experiences stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to switch gears just a little bit and ask Kevin a couple questions. Kevin, have you let the maintenance guy in yet?
No, not yet. I'm just waiting for him to knock on the door.
Okay, and I'm seeing on your screen, it looks like a billboard. Is that a billboard, or is it like a reflection of the TV or something behind you?
No, that's like a digital, big, huge sign thing. Yeah.
And is it? I guess they have the blackout curtain, so it's probably pretty easy to like shut that off when you're
kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I got for Kevin. So we sometimes like to guess what Kevin's deal is. You guys might know a little bit more about Kevin's deal, but I think we might want to play that game. I don't think we have the theme song today, right, Kevin?
I can get it. Hold on one
No,
second.
I mean, we don't. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Phil. Oh, but actually, well. That's right, folks. We got to take a quick break. So that's the break music. We'll be back with more. What was that racist thinking or whatever the fuck I said the show was as the joke? The best thing about summer is getting to do all your favorite indoor things. All your favorite indoor things outside, like sharing meals and accidentally falling asleep on the sofa. Article's curated catalog of outdoor furniture is here to help you do all your favorite things this summer. They've got everything you need, from outdoor sofas to dining sets to decor. Their team of designers is all about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price, and they're dedicated to thoughtful craftsmanship that stands the test of time. Article offers fast, affordable shipping across the U.S. and Canada. You just pick the delivery time, and they'll send you updates every step of the way. I have a beautiful Article outdoor dining set. It's got this heavy wood 3-piece picnic table kind of thing, and it is robust. It is quality. Article is offering our listeners $50 off their first purchase of $100 more. To claim, go to article.com/goblinflakes, and the discount will automatically be applied at checkout. That's article.com/goblinflakes for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. All right, and we're back. Kevin, can you hit the song again?
Yes. Hold on.
What's Kevin's deal? And I'm sure it's going to be delayed, so that doesn't work. But hey, it's time to play the game, What's Kevin's Deal? The game where we ask Kevin a leading question, and he generally is very generous about trying to make the question, like trying to make the answer right, but a lot of times it's not very close. So I usually go first to kind of give the guests an idea of what they should be doing, and so today I will. Kevin, are you a hired hitman that uses your mild-mannered, aura persona to get away with grisly, gruesome murders? And are you in the midst of a job right now?
I wish my life was that exciting, but no, I don't have it in me to hurt people like that.
Writing down, Kevin wishes he could kill people. Okay. Good to know. All right. What about who wants to go second? Ryan or one. Jeff? Okay, Jeff.
Kevin, your deal is that you like annoying people through being in a hotel room at 6 p.m. and making a reasonable amount of noise. When I heard that last week, I was like, what the fuck? That is crazy that they knocked on your door and was like, could you keep it down? And you were like, it couldn't have been loud. Like, it's impossible.
I'm still stunned by that. No, and it's not like someone from next door came over. They called the hotel, and someone from like the lobby came up to come yell at me to keep it down.
What?
That's so crazy.
So I don't. Maybe it was the wrong room. They thought it was something else.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
That makes more sense. Like, it could have been someone anywhere who just thought they were on the different floor or something. It could
even been making a complaint at that hour, like the daylight.
I mean, it's sort of in their defense, though, too. When I opened the door and they said, can I come in? And I'm like, okay. Like, can
I come in?
Screens. Yeah. Well,
no, you can't come in
without letting anybody else hear. So I'm like, yeah, sure, come on in.
That's so weird.
But like, I had like rearranged the whole hotel room to have like lights aimed at me, and like I moved a table around, put all these computer screens on and stuff like this. So it looked like I was up to something. I don't think they really could tell what I was doing. But
it would have looked like you were making a ton of noise for sure. Like that.
You were up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, enough weird stuff was going on that I think they were like, yeah, he probably was making some weird noises a little while ago.
Yeah.
I mean,
guessing, maybe you were dragging furniture, was making a lot of noise or something. It just took them a long time to follow up.
4 hours earlier, though. Like, I did that before I started any stuff for that day. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just baffled.
For someone. I think we're all baffled. I think we should play a game of what's the deal with the person who complained about Kevin. That's what someone on the Reddit said.
I really should have gone and
I want to know.
Figured out who it was.
Man, it's I can't. What about you, Ryan? You got a deal for Kevin?
So getting deeper to the center of Kevin, do you open your heart to the feelings of guilt for your hand in the climate crisis, or do you close the door and keep that outside and say, I didn't do this?
No, I have a lot of guilt about stuff like that. I try to make things right where I can, but like, my job involves a lot of air travel and stuff like that, which I know is kind of terrible for the planet and things like that. So I try to balance it out where I can. But yeah, no, that is something I think about. Like, I don't lose sleep over it, but I'm conscious of it.
Kevin's on the right track.
He does own a ocean heating business.
And a cruise ship of my own.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you only take it out like on weekends.
Just go pick up groceries, stuff like that. Fire that bad boy up in the morning.
I guess like a super yacht doesn't even approach the size of a cruise ship, huh? We should start like daring rich people into getting cruise ships instead of super yachts. I think that could be a fun thing to do.
Do you think they can be gaslit into it?
I think so, but the thing is, I think it would be so non-functional that if you get even one person to buy one, I think it would be really funny for them to have a really bad time trying to enjoy it.
A rich guy walking around a cruise ship going, and I barely even use this ball.
I'm trying to imagine how you would decide like where to hang out on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm tired of walking. This
use.
Spot we're in is just where we're going to be for the next 2 days.
I like sleeping in a different stateroom every night.
Yeah. It would be nice. I mean, who hasn't fantasized about just having like a whole hotel that's just they can have any room, they can have any spot. It's all theirs.
I do know a few people that have more money they know what to do with, and one of the I don't know anyone that's actually done this yet, but one of the latest things with the people in that category is that you can actually buy a private rail car and pay Amtrak to take you wherever you want to go. Like you can deck out your own 100-year-old wooden thing with your own staterooms and own staff and everything.
Fucking awesome.
That is amazing.
They'll attach it to the back of whatever train going to wherever you want. They'll take you anywhere. And it's actually not that expensive.
I got to get the train from Wild Wild West. The Wild Wild West train where you can everything is levers and pulleys and get knocked around and stuff. And I got
to just live on a train.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
How much is it, Kevin?
I mean, when I last looked into it, the buying the car itself is the most expensive part, and that's anywhere from like $100,000 to $400,000.
But then they charge attachment fees, right?
And you have to pay to store it, and then you have to pay to have it brought out and attached to a train, and then you pay by the mile to where you want to go and stuff like that. But like if you're the type of person that's like paying for like your own private jet or something, this is a fraction of that cost.
Yeah. Is this a lucrative business for Amtrak? Like, are they making?
No, they don't want to do it. From what I can gather, it's one of those things like the government, like when they consolidated all the private railroads into just Amtrak, a few of them offered this service, so Amtrak had to keep offering it, and they really don't want to, but they do.
Oh man, I wonder if you could if you had the train car. Do you think you could make enough on a YouTube channel about living on a train to fund all of the connection fees? Keep it going.
I mean, I don't think YouTube's paying out that much. Hundreds of thousands.
I need a plan somehow. I got to start somewhere. I'm just thinking out loud here. And since we're getting to Kevin's deal, he might know. He seems to know more about this trains than I do.
Well, there actually is in Chicago a private subway car that some people collectively own as a group, and once a day, if you're part of this club, you can join it and have your own private little subway car to go from whatever suburb it goes to into downtown Chicago and drink alcohol and do whatever you want. And then it just looks like a regular old subway car, though. It doesn't look anything fancy other than the inside's nicer, but from the outside it just looks normal.
But it's yours.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's underground too. That's even cooler, But Kevin actually knows people that are so rich they can afford to have Dunstan check in.
That movie
I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Well, it means that they're able to afford a hotel that is about to be destroyed.
It means
that seems reasonable.
Able to afford a pair of orangutans they have trained to steal jewels.
That's right.
I think, yeah, that would be a good investment. Kevin, think about that. Especially when you're traveling so much, you just get another.
You could fleece this hotel. Yeah, they could comp you for a week, and you could leave with all of the jewels.
That train car that a group of people owns is so crazy. It's like, why don't we timeshare public transit?
Yeah,
why not?
Like, we already all own it as the public. You see?
It was honestly, it was a bunch of businessmen who wanted to drink martinis on their way home from work. Is what started this whole thing.
Makes sense, I guess.
Yeah.
I just now thinking about like frequent flyer miles and hotel points and stuff, and like, what if you try to check Dunstan in using like hotel points, and they're like, you cannot. Only humans.
They should have done a sequel where Dunstan checked in for his flight.
Oh my god! And you know he's platinum status. He's golden medallion status or diamond medallion status.
He's hanging out in the elite lounges, causing all sorts of havoc.
He's checking out the nice buffets that
The
are in. I mean,
spas.
they're not that nice. Yeah, man.
Can't
you know the
forget the spa
bathrooms.
sequence.
The bathrooms in the fucking like airport lounges are pretty crazy. I mean, sometimes there's showers and stuff. It's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want myself to be that vulnerable in an airport kind of situation. You know, it's like, what if shit goes down? You know, shit's always going down in airports. Okay, so you know what doesn't go down in airports is soda.
Oh boy.
That's right, folks. We got soda. I should have told you about this, Kevin. I don't know if it would have been a hassle for you to track down, but Kevin looked like he's going for the music. Are you going for the music, Kevin? All right. I think like the lyrics of that are something like, well, let's have ourselves a nice drink. I have to get the rhythm right. I don't know what it is. And then we'll tell you folks just what we think or something like that. I'm sure there's a way.
Will we want to pour it down the sink?
That's
It's
right,
time
folks.
to have a drink.
It really is. And it's time to squirt because we got Ruby Red Squirt. Since 1938, it says thirst quencher, citrus and berry soda, naturally flavored. Apparently, and I knew this about Mountain Dew, but apparently Squirt had this problem too, where it used to be made with brominated vegetable oil or something like that, which is not what you want. I guess it's bad for you. I don't know. But they don't do that anymore. Now they use ester gum, which, what the fuck is ester gum? Like, what? There's so many gums and like food stuff, but it's like, what does that mean? They're probably just like a
What
fucking
does it
molecule,
do?
right?
You know?
I think it makes it really sour. I think that's why they have it in Mountain Dew and Squirt is because it's intensely sour flavor.
How is it different from xanthan gum?
Well, that's the thing. It's like you think of these things as gum, like chewing gum or something sticky and gummy, but it's in a
this
fucking
is
liquid.
Caffeinated? I didn't think Squirt was caffeinated. I didn't know that.
Is normal Squirt caffeinated?
65 mg per 20 fluid ounces.
Kevin, can you check out if normal Squirt is caffeinated?
Yeah, because I think of it more like Fresca or Sprite, which are
And
both not.
No.
Like I drink. Wait, what, Kevin?
Squirt is caffeine free.
Okay.
So
Just
what the
making
hell is
sure.
this
So
doing?
weird.
with
Well,
caffeine?
this is the new
That is a
improved
shock.
addictive Squirt.
Yeah, but they don't.
I mean,
they don't like tell you that really, except for in the fine print where it says caffeine's involved. But like, it's not like Squirt with caffeine.
I don't know if this is legal in Europe because or in Canada. In Canada, they have some weird law about putting caffeine in sodas that aren't like dark brown colored for some reason. It's like for a while they had to have like Mountain Dew without caffeine and then like Mountain Dew Sport or something, which was like classified as an energy drink or a sports drink, and that's how they could get around it or something. But it's weird. I mean, maybe it's like the flavor profile because caffeine's pretty bitter, and I think of yeah. I was just gonna say that I used to drink a lot of Squirt like in the evening. Like if it's late, I usually don't like drinking a bunch of caffeine, so I would do Squirt or a Sprite or a Cactus Cooler. So,
But you
but
can't do
Kevin
that
says,
with this.
Yeah, you can't do that with this. That's good to know. But it does have red dye number 40. So, but I think we've heard that it's actually not as bad for you as people used to think. It's not that it's not bad. It's just less bad or something. Kevin writes, xanthan gum and ester gum serve different functions and various applications. Did you ask the fucking AI this, Kevin?
Yeah.
God damn it. Xanthan gum is a complex sugar produced. It's a fermented sugar produced by bacteria. Ester gum is derived from the resin of pine trees.
That sounds good. Does it give it that like dry coating on your mouth? Is that what does it?
that might be part of it, because when you think of like a really sour flavor, usually I would say there's these dry notes to it, and definitely like citrus fruit oils have that quality too. So yeah, that's very interesting. But
looks like this has grapefruit juice concentrate in it.
Well, yeah,
I was
is a
grapefruity
grapefruit soda.
Okay.
Yeah,
ruby red makes sense.
Yeah, and I would say it does taste like ruby red grapefruit as opposed to like a normal grapefruit. What were you going to say, Ryan?
Oh, I was just going to say I'm excited because Squirt was like my first favorite soda growing up. My grandparents always had it at their house.
Yeah, Squirt is like a classic old people soda, I think. My dad used to really like Squirt, and he used to eat grapefruits a lot. But yeah, let's crack this open. Who wants to take the first drink? And I'm sorry, Kevin. I should have told you about this, but hey.
That's okay.
I like leaving.
Hey, is it bad that the Squirt that you gave me earlier today, the top was already popped?
Yeah, I'd say that's bad.
Have you been tampering with this?
No.
Have you?
I'll tell you. You know what's potentially as bad or worse is that I'm looking at the Squirt and I'm seeing dark residue that looks like dried syrup or something on this cap, which
that's not good.
Suggests that some sodas leaked out and then dried for a time, which that's not what you want.
Mine looks completely fine.
That's good. I'm gonna try. After the show, I can come and try Jeff's too, just out of curiosity.
Well, I must have separated from the perforation.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeff? Well, you tasted some, right?
It's quite good. It's like it's not offensive. It's a grapefruit flavored soda, and I could see it being actually very thirst quenching and not too syrupy.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of nice how light it is.
What about you, Ryan? I'll tell you this.
It's nice. I like it. I think I like original Squirt more because this is sweeter.
It's definitely sweeter. It's got more calories too.
How far is this from Code Red? I haven't had Code Red.
It reminds me of it's like a fruit punch flavor, but with like a Squirt quality.
Yeah,
it's got that Squirt bite, but the main flavor note is like fruit punch. Like,
I'd say Code Red tastes a lot more like Mountain Dew, which is I'd say a more orangey lemon than a grapefruit. I'll say for me, mine definitely has this top note that tastes bitter and weird and different than the other ones I've tasted. So I really
that might
think
be
this
your
dark residue is something. It's not like nothing. It's like it's doing something in a way that I'm not comfortable with.
You get that bitter first Squirt note, but then it doesn't come down into the grapefruit. It just kind of fizzles, and then you just taste fruit punch.
Yeah, the fruit punch flavor is really there, which I love fruit punch.
I think it's good.
I think the fruit punch does actually get it towards like ruby red, which like grapefruits taste pretty similar, but ruby red grapefruit I think does have a bit more of like this fruity sweetness to it. Yeah. But I wonder if that bitter top note is the caffeine, because caffeine is like a pretty classic bitter flavor.
I think it's really good the more I drink of it. I do think I like original Squirt a little more, but I think to truly test it, I'd have to drink this out of a can.
I'm used to feeling like a soda like this is like super syrupy and like saccharin and extra sugary, and this just like still could be refreshing.
Yeah, it's definitely refreshing. It makes me want to go back and try Fresca, which I used to drink Fresca at. I used to be an Academic decathlon for all you fucking idiots out there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
And don't you worry, because I too am a fucking idiot, because I quit Acadeca because in our test class, in our practice test, there we go. In our practice test, I scored way worse than everyone else. And they're like, you just got to study more. And I was like, I do not think I will do that. I think I will not do that.
It's easy. Just spend your time studying.
Well, that's the thing. I was always like one of those, I don't know. I was the kind of guy who just got everything first try. And so I was basically just skating without ever having to learn how to do studying and research and stuff. And I just never did. Anytime I would try to really buckle down and study, it just would not help at all. And basically Acadeca was like weaponized studying. That was just like it was just studying competitively, and that was the whole thing. It's like every year they'd get different textbooks, and the whole thing was based off of those textbooks. So it was just like how good you could study this material. It wasn't really about like any specific understanding. And I think I've come to realize that was just having really bad ADHD. So I just like couldn't actually focus on studying, but I just was managed to like get good grades, all through high school at least, without having to, because I'm such a fucking genius.
And you drank a lot of Fresca doing that?
Yeah, they had tons and tons of snacks. Like, and Fresca was like the soda they had, because most of it was like water and like soy chocolate milk and like seltzer water and stuff. And I always hated seltzer water. Fresca is almost a lot like seltzer water because it's diet, but
yeah, it's good, but you can definitely tell it's diet. That was what I was going to say about Fresca. Like, there's some flavor to it where you're like, this is definitely a healthy soda.
I can't stand
like
this stuff.
Sugar.
I really think it tastes terrible.
Mm-hmm. Well,
so that's my
fuck Ekadeca, so it doesn't matter that Fresca is bad, because we don't ever have to drink it anymore. No one can ever hurt you. Man, I don't know. The thing is, like, I had the bad test results, and then like I just felt really bad, and then like the people were like, the other members of the team were like trying to make me feel better, but it was like the way they were doing it just made me feel way worse. And it's just like, look, this is the first set of practice tests. I did really bad. Okay. I mean, this is science. We just learned that. This is new data. Let's take this data and start working with it. Let's not everybody recite the data. Like, I know it was bad. It wasn't good. You could say, oh, it's not your fault. You just have to study more or whatever the fuck. It just like everybody it felt like there was this big group hug situation. So like I like literally started crying, and then I like ran out of the classroom and then never came back. And that teacher was like a very, like, our school, our Moore Park High School was like at the time pretty winning in terms of the Ekadeca. We had like a pretty good record, and that teacher was like the most winning like Ekadeca coach for our school too. And he encouraged me to join because he was like, wow, Spencer's such a genius or whatever. And when I quit or whatever, he never looked at me ever again. And it's like, I mean, you're like a 70-year-old man. I don't know that you should take this so personally, like it was just like, but it really, to me, what do you call it? Validated my decision. It's like, well, clearly this is not a good environment to be around, especially senior year when everyone's fucking around and stuff. It's like, I don't want to be fucking like studying more than everyone else in the entire school for something that fundamentally doesn't matter, except for like on a college application or something, which I didn't even like go to a real college. I went to fucking community college or whatever the hell. So fuck Mr. Jones. I'm pretty sure he's dead now, so who's the real winner,
You.
Yeah, exactly. Look at me. No, I mean, I'm sure he's whatever. I'd rather be a teacher than where I am right now, I'll tell you that much. But hey, whatever. It's time to read an email, you guys.
All right.
Is that okay with you guys?
I would love to.
I want to hear it.
Okay. Brian writes, hi, Spencer and Kevin. I mean, it's very rude of you not to include Ryan and Jeff on this email. It seems like you read all your emails, so hopefully you see this. I'll try to be brief, but basically I just wanted to say thank you for making the podcast and continue it even when it failed, in quotes. That's something I said that they're quoting, not them telling me that my podcast is a failure, because it means a lot to me, and I'm certain it's important to the lives of many others too. I'd also like to say that I understand your insecurities about the show and yourself. It's your openness in discussing these things that make me appreciate the show so much. But I want you to know that people who love the show don't need it to be something or have a specific purpose or premise or anything like that. I personally tune in just because I like hearing what you and Kevin have to say about all kinds of things. I love when you go into your personal feelings and traumas and worldview, explaining the work of you. This is a long email. I often feel the same way as you. This is a recurring theme, and it makes me feel more understood and less alone. I enjoy your rants, blah, blah, blah. My point is, well, this is a bad podcast. What am I doing? And no one wants to miss into 60 minutes of this. Those are actually my favorite episodes. Even on Harmontown, Dan would think that episodes where he got really deep and introspective are not what fans wanted to hear, but they were my favorite ones. I always enjoyed the insights. Keep doing what you're doing as long as it makes you happy. If it doesn't serve your happiness, I understand. But if you're worried about what the show needs to be, please don't be. When was this written? This motherfucker.
Can I second everything that email says? Because I listen every week, and that's exactly how I feel. It's a very relatable, and you articulate a lot of the struggles that I experience pretty well, and they're similar. And I really appreciate the show because of that.
Allow me to second my response to this person's when I say, hey, go fuck yourself. My whole complaint is that not that like, oh, the show's bad because it doesn't have a format. No, my complaint is that I hate myself and I want to die, and doing the podcast amplifies those feelings. And part of where those feelings come from is not knowing what my purpose is and the purpose of the show is and how to execute those things. And so it's not a matter of how the product comes off necessarily. It's more a matter of how it slots into my life and makes me feel terrible. And the thing is, other people enjoying it doesn't change that, because it's a very internal process that's happening, and it is fucked up. So everybody who likes me, you're wrong. You're all pieces of shit. I hope you all go away. So yeah, no, but seriously, Brian, thank you for the email, and thank you, Jeff, for your kind words. But also, this guy says, I'm trying to find out when Spencer talks about cults of personality being similar to actual cults. I'd love to send them the time code. I don't fucking know. I thought he was looking. If you want to look at something like this, you want to look at, what do we call it? Episode 15 of Navigating Narcissism. What is a cult with Dr. Janja Lalich? And I think anything I said was kind of deriving from there. I don't know. I don't remember what episode I talked about anything. And but maybe someone on the Reddit can. That's something that people on the Reddit would do. But thank you. I don't know. I could do one more email, or we could talk to you guys for a couple more minutes. What do you guys want to do?
I mean, did you want to talk about how FF16 kind of is a real disappointment to us?
Yeah, but we really don't have enough time.
No, we don't have time to get into that.
We should have gotten into that.
We don't have nearly enough time to get into that.
At one point, I was thinking to myself, because I just wanted to say, like, I don't want to yuck anybody's yum who's enjoying FF16, but my yum was fully yucked by the game itself, and that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, my comment towards the discourse is like, stop harshing my vibe of hating this game.
Yeah, exactly. That's its own mellow that can be harshed. I want to say that I don't want to like say something that makes someone not like the thing and resent it. But what I do want is for them naturally to come to that conclusion that it's bad, because it's really bad. It's impossibly
Just
bad.
Give them time.
And when people talk about what they like, they say things that are describing a bad game. And it's like, I always say, like, it's fine to like hot dogs. We can all like hot dogs. But a hot dog is not good by objective metrics. A hot dog is an assemblage of garbage meats that nonetheless has enough sodium and whatever the fuck to taste fine. And if you like a hot dog, that's great. You can like all the hot dogs. I like hot dogs. But I'm not going to sit here and say, like, I don't know, man, I just think hot dogs are better than ribeye steak. It's not.
Or say, like you actually don't like broccoli or lettuce or ribeye steak. Why would you want a ribeye steak when you could be having the bad thing?
Yeah, exactly.
I also don't think I ever would say this hot dog is a masterpiece. About any hot dog.
But it's a hot dog for old fans and new, or whatever the fuck. New fans and old ones alike.
That was the last one. I think this one is only for new fans.
And
I think what's happening. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go. I just have some snide shit to say about 16.
I think what's happening is there's this loop when you start a new MMORPG where you get a bunch of quests and you start gaining powers and you start doing all these quests. You're like, wow, what's going on? What are these subsystems? What's happening? What's the world map? Whoa, what's going on? You're reading text boxes. You're buying new stuff. You're getting money. You're selling stuff. You're clicking on wolves to skin their pelts and stuff. And about like 30 hours in, you're like, what the fuck have I been doing this whole time? None of this has ever been fun. I'm just doing it because like my task completion circuit in my brain is being activated by clicking on all these quests and marking them off. But I'm not enjoying myself. And I think that's what's happening to people. I think they're like doing the loops of gameplay and they're convincing themselves like, oh yeah, I'm doing this, so it must be like fun. But it's like, no, your brain's being hijacked by addictive gameplay loops like mobile games and, gems and quest completion and all the things that like make games bad and sub in for actual game mechanics, That's my theory.
I think they've got PR blindfolds on. I think that they've been fully brainwashed by the run up to the game. Anyway.
I just want to play like Final Fantasy 13 again and maybe I'll be like, this game is actually good or something. I don't know.
It's time.
But it's almost time for the end of the show. Yeah. But, there's always time for Kevin's last words. Kevin, do you remember when we mentioned that one time? Was it last episode? I can't.
Yeah,
remember.
yes. And I thought of nothing since then.
Good. That's what that's the podcast is me fucking you over and and then you stumbling and then people are on the other Discord are like, oh, Kevin's so charming and good, so I'm really giving you more of an opportunity to be liked. And I know how important that is to you that the Discord sees you in a positive light.
Do you like being the foil? Like, do you secretly want to be the bad guy?
No, I want to be liked. But if I can't have that, I'll relish in being a shithead because it doesn't matter what the fuck I do. When I'm on Harmontown, and I was on Harmontown, people would never post about me in the Reddits. And then I was like, well, what if I do my own podcast? And then I did my own podcast. Everyone's posting about Jeff in the Reddits. And then Jeff leaves. And now everyone's posting about fucking Kevin. And it's like, God damn it. What the fuck? It's fine. That's the thing. It's like, I don't have to be in front of the camera, but people lie to me and tell me that it would be good for me to be in front of the camera. Because they want to see me fail. And that's Kevin's last words.
Glad I could be here for your heel turn.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing is I'm embracing it because it's at least an energy that I can understand. Kevin, do you actually have last words, though?
Spencer, we all love you. I'm speaking for Ryan and Jeff here, and everybody at home, we all love you, and I'm sorry.
Well, don't speak for Ryan and Jeff.
I am. I'm speaking for everybody.
I'm giving permission.
Okay.
It comes across poorly, but everybody loves you, Spencer.
It sure does. It comes across so poorly. Improve the way you have this come across, audience. Jesus fucking Christ. That's our show.
Everybody,
thanks for having us on,
Spencer.
man.
Oh wait, Kevin, don't end the show.
Okay.
We gotta plug. Okay, so one more time for plugs, guys. Check out No Cat, and you say that now. But yeah, do it however you want.
Yeah, check out
our
no
podcast.
No one can know about this in any podcast player.
Mm-hmm.
It's a podcast with two legitimately charming, talented, hardworking people, and that's something you cannot say about this podcast.
And and sometimes we'll be joined by however you conceive of yourself to ruin our show a little bit. Am I?
Oh, we don't even have time to get into how I conceive myself on your show. But just get the fuck out of here, you guys. Stop. Just stop. Just leave me alone. Let me die. Just let me die.